Welcome back to Minish Cap. We're on our way to the Minish Woods. And we're still in a little bit of a tutorial.
Excuse me, I have places to be.
Rolling is very nice.
So this is kind of a nice little remix of the Hyrule Castle theme.
Yeah, it's kind of got its own tune. Starts out the same.
Yeah, it's evocative of it.
It's one of the things the game does well. Familiar but unique.
Right. Why?
You were so effective against him.
Yeah. What would Vadi have... What would... I don't know. Vadi, what is it?
I say it Vadi.
Alright. I've been known to say things wrong, so I'm gonna go with that.
I've never heard it pronounced out loud, so...
Hey, it's these guys.
The Carpenters return. They've conveniently blocked off the way to Hyrule Town, so we have to go directly to the Minish Woods.
Yeah, this game has a lot of arbitrary blocks in it. A very famous one in the town a little bit later, but...
Yep.
Yeah, it's just arbitrary, like, I'm carrying this 4x4, you can't pass. I'm gonna saw this one forever. Rumor, he just did it. Weren't you there?
Yeah, but he hit me really hard. I immediately forgot.
Right.
Creepy, it's all classic monsters.
All right, time for some audience participation. Give me the comments. Which game has the best carpenters?
Breath of the Wild's pretty high up there.
Yeah. They are expressive, I'll give them that.
You got a heart. You are terrible until now.
So this game, the first time you pick up anything, it's going to tell you what it is, but it usually doesn't after that, so... Now, they didn't learn their lesson for the Skyward Sword, so... In that one, every time you reset the game, it has to tell you what it is you picked up.
There are a lot of things you can destroy with a sword. There's patches of grass, and then there's regular grass, and then there are miniature trees, and you can destroy it all. So there are these guys. They're like little bandits.
They were just practicing their circus act.
If you hit them while they're still on the ground, you only kill the one, and the rest of them don't come out. If you knock them down, you can kill each of them, and they each have a chance to drop rupees and hearts.
I'm guarding these rocks.
This is one thing I do like, though. Vadi attacks, and immediately the guards have actually surrounded the area and are protecting it. Like, they're actually doing something. Whether they're effective or not is another thing, but they started doing something.
Right.
And we're blocked up by a lot of things. There are these little holes that are blocked by these round rocks. Those are shortcuts. You can only open it once you've gone on the other side and push the rock into the hole. Those little holes, you can't actually pop into them and hop onto the other side, but it's very few places where you have both ends open. And little weird, that's the house for two characters. They're just NPCs who are here. For whatever reason, they're just not here, even though they don't go anywhere else.
They got stuck in town by the guard block.
Maybe.
5 rupees?
That's kind of nice. I really like the music from Minish Woods.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Are you ready for a sunbeam filter?
I do apologize in advance. I will be hitting everything I can with the sword.
Yeah. That's fine. It's fun to do in this game.
You do have wallets, like in Ocarina and what have you. I think you max out at 100 or 200, and then you need to buy bigger wallets.
The sprites are so good.
You don't take damage, luckily. If you fall in a bottomless pit, you do, though. Just poke downward.
The Chusa, I'm gonna get him.
Part of the reason that I'm constantly destroying all the grass is that a little later in the game, they have a high chance of spawning a certain item.
Mm-hmm.
And you need a lot of that item.
Yeah, there is one mechanic of this game that is a love it or hate mechanic, but it's there.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It gives you cool stuff. Oh,
Poor little bird blob.
man, never mind. I'm not gonna help. This looks more fun.
Yeah, first heart piece. That's actually the Deepwood shrine right there, but we can't get into it.
They don't even make you try for the first heart piece.
There's a lot of them that are just in the way.
Right.
There's 44 of them total, so it's a lot of heart pieces.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of actual dungeons in this game. So the heart pieces are all over. Hey!
It's a little cruel sitting here watching this. We're just letting the Octoroks hurt him.
Right. I love how he's calling attention to it, too.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a little preemptive, though. This would be funnier after we got to know him. Because this is a character that Mecha Prime was talking about. Come on, hit him more.
Yeah, please.
No, whatever.
This character is also very emotive, too, which is great.
I'm a bird.
Yeah, we have a lot in common. I'm a disembodied bird head on the top of a green triangle, and you're a kid. See? Totally the same.
You appear to have a bird coming out of your head.
Yeah. Ezlo. Hey, buddy.
This is our companion for the game. Unfortunately, he's a bit slow.
He's gonna follow us really slowly.
He does not endear himself to us right at the start. Stubbed my toe. I do like this animation, though. Splat. And like that, I don't know why a game hadn't done this earlier. Our classic Link sleeping cap is our partner.
It's the origin story for the hat.
Ignoring Skyward Sword.
Right.
But you might as well.
That's better. Left ignored.
But now that we have Ezlo, we can do something cool.
Yeah. He does have one important use that's not yelling at you.
So we've been calling them Picori. They are actually the Minish. So Ezlo is the Minish cap.
Oh, there it is.
And since they're so small, we can't just go up and talk to them. We've seen a couple of really small entrances. We need to shrink down to Minish size in order to go through them. Luckily, this stump with a pickaxe hole is one of those. There's a couple of different portals. It's smart that they're not just all trees. Like, there are portals in people's houses. It'll be a little weird if there was just a tree stump in there.
He's summoning a demon.
That's pretty good. And then we're just a dot.
It's a nice animation, but you don't have to watch it every time. You can actually skip it from now on.
Yeah. Don't ask that yet, Ezlo.
Yeah. Now we're teeny tiny.
So the problem with Ezlo is he likes to talk.
A lot.
No matter what you actually know, he likes to talk. Some things are worth knowing, because this is our first time going down to Minish size. But he is quite condescending, and I guess he doesn't care if we like him or not. Hang on.
He also tends to state the obvious a lot. It's one of those companions.
Yep. So, at normal size, we could go through there. At Minish size, it's much too big a body of water. Managed to get the cycle, though.
Speedrun strats.
I really like this, though. There's a couple of transitional areas like this. And you can really see just how tiny you are.
Very cool. This is a good game. Have we said that?
We've said it has good things, but yes, this is a good game. And there are the Minish. I love their voices. These guys are adorable.
Hey, see ya.
The Minish are interesting. They're like little rodents. The little tiny squirrel feet. And like bird tails. It's an interesting design.
And as of yet, they haven't been used again.
Wonder if you can hear the difference between the K and the C when they pronounce it. Nah. Well, luckily, the person who does understand us is up here. It's the Minish Pope.
Yeah, he does have that hat. His glasses keep falling down.
I like that jabbernut.
I'm sorry, a what?
It's like the plant version of a babelfish. Or babblefish. I always pronounced it babelfish before I actually heard it. The jabbernut is up here in this barrel house. Look at that, that's a jabbernut.
Jabber, jabber, jabber.
Oh, gunk. That looks like a cuss. Oh, gunkle.
Son of a gunkle.
Gunkle's name works best when it's in the middle of a sentence, not at the start.
You ate it? Ew.
Oh, no!
The Pope's like, you weren't supposed to eat it.
You're supposed to stick it in your ear.
Shove it in the hat.
Well, there we go. Now we can go around and talk to all the Minish. Some of them have advice. We can even go in their houses. The Minish houses are very cleverly designed.
Yeah. Someone put a lot of thought into this. It's pretty good.
So like I said, get out!
The shrine is filled with monsters. Oh, what are we to do?
Hey, nice clothes to rip.
Yeah. Want to trade? I'll trade you this hat.
Here's the thing. Here's what I was talking about. Kinstone pieces. We have to reach a certain point in the game. I think immediately after this first dungeon, when we start collecting kinstone pieces. But those are the big random number generator thing for the game. Them and one other thing, but they're the primary one, and it's a toss-up whether you're going to enjoy it or not.
Luckily, all the ones you actually need to beat the game are given to you.
Yeah.
So, it's as much as you make it, pretty much. You know, you don't have to do it more than the game makes you. I love this guy's, like, sewing needle.
Yeah.
Look at the symbols behind him. Call back.
The far left one, at least.
They all are.
Well, I don't recognize the other three.
They're symbols that are on the stones in Ocarina of Time. for the different temples. There's at least 4 of them.
I don't think Ocarina of Time. The far left one is. That's the Goron one.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly which ones they are, but I know I've seen all those symbols before. Someone in the comments is gonna bring it up. You idiots!
The purple one is a Jello mold.
Right. Well, they're also the symbols for this game too.
That's not a callback. Whatever. First one's the Earth element. You might have noticed, they are colored green, red, blue, and purple. If that means anything to you, it's because you played 4 Swords.
Also known as a good Zelda game.
Not as good as this one.
No.
This way, to the right. Alright, immediately off to the first dungeon. Deepwood Shrine. It's a longer dungeon than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I know. They kind of introduce you to dungeons in a big way. Yes, please wait here.
Just drop kicks him out the door. So Deepwood Shrine immediately sets you up with tons of puzzles, tons of things to do. The game puts its best foot forward, I think.
Yeah, and, you know, this game's got all the good action, it's got all the good puzzles, it's a good game. I'm gonna keep saying that. One of the things that I think is really neat is all the dungeons that you do as small Link. Wait, that's not true. All the good dungeons.
A couple of them you do small. Some of them, like the second one, you cycle between big and small.
Right. Okay, here's the state the obvious stuff. It's like, come on.
Here's what makes it extra annoying. He actually turns his nose up at you sometimes. I mean, I like the animation. It makes it extra worse in my mind.
Right. Very smug.
So those slugs only show up in the Minish dungeons. And some other places, because they are regular-sized slugs. When you're Minish, everything is regular size. You're just tiny, so it suddenly becomes huge. Like Ezlo says. Go away.
Aren't you the one that cast the spell that made me small?
How good do you think my memory is? What we gotta do with this barrel, we gotta go on the other side. It also has vines on that side we need to burn away. And then we can actually spin the barrel and get to new areas.
Can you solve this puzzle? Oh, you solved the puzzle.
Torches lit, can't you solve what? I don't know. Those guys just drop spores on the ground. They don't really hurt you, but they do slow you down.
My lad?
Barrel just moved, eh? Did it move enough for you? No, that's a little obnoxious. Gotta be quick. We need a key first.
Still better than the turnstiles.
Yeah. Mostly because this is like the only dungeon where it shows up. These guys are fun. I forget what they're called. Once they see you, they get really upset. You can actually see right there. You can stop pulling this little spring mushroom at any point. But it actually divides on the ground where you want to stop in order to get to that middle section.
It's the teaching mushroom.
See, Ezlo, that's how you do it.
Right. Hey, did you know you could...
Slugs and flies.
Yeah, it's great. The enemies in a lot of the Minish dungeons are bugs and stuff that would normally not be a problem.
We do occasionally see the flies when we're regular size, and they're very tiny. But just out on the overworld. So this is clever. The R button in the game is basically your action button. It does roll, but it also does other things. You can talk to people with a button. You can pull or push, depending on what side you are. And in this one, you need to go into the middle first, and then pull the statues in.
Mm-hmm. So, this is the first Pocket Zelda to give you the pulling mechanic.
Ah.
We don't want to make it easy for the next guy to come through the dungeon.
I just wanted a rupee. Now we got the key, we can head back. You notice in the little middle door on this barrel, there's a cobweb. And also there's all this dust along the ground. So you might be getting an idea what kind of item we're going to be getting. Ah, pull too far, you just get launched into the water.
Spring break!
Now we gotta use the bridge to pull ourselves across. Once you've maxed out, Gunkel's face turns bright red. In fact, if you're pulling anything, and you pull consistently for long enough, his face turns red.
Right. He's not as expressive as Wind Waker Link, but he's the most expressive, I guess, 2D Link we've got, which is awesome.
Nope. Wrong angle. We gotta kind of do the thing we did in the other room. But we gotta pull a statue over and onto the other side of the switch, and then push this statue onto it.
Now you're puzzling.
It was sort of around this point, first time playing, where I was immediately impressed with the puzzles. It's like they're simple, but it requires some lateral thinking. Just my kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the dust is actually slowing him down. I think he's just very grossed out by it.
Ew.
No.
It's getting in my shoes.
It kind of looks like he's got little red tennis shoes. Got the key, I can go in there immediately. And it's a mini-boss time. This guy's funny, punch him in the nose, and his butt turns red. Which, I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Spamming the sword is so fun in this game.
That's one of the things I like a lot about the 2D Zeldas, how fast you can attack with them. But here's the item, the Gust Jar. This is turned up again in a couple of other games, particularly Skyward Sword.
Doesn't work quite the same way, though.
This one you can only blow in the direction that you're facing when you pull out the button, but it can pull cobwebs, it can pull dust off the ground, and a couple of other things.
Yeah, it's gotta suck before it blows.
It's not hugely effective as a weapon, but there are some enemies that can be affected by it. Particularly these mushroom guys. That's one way to hurt them. But if you just blow on them for a while, you actually pull all the dust out of them, and that stuns them so you can hit them.
Oh boy.
Here's the other RNG thing alongside the kinstones. Mysterious shells. You can get an infinite amount of these. There's not a specific amount of them. You max out at 999. They're basically another type of currency, and the thing that you buy with them is the other RNG thing.
which is just a collect-a-thon, really.
It only exists to collect things.
Yeah, which the only way to show it off was to bring your Game Boy Advance over to your friend's house and show them, so I don't know really what the point is, but whatever. We'll get to that, I'm sure.
Now we pull a cobweb, and we open up a hole in the ground. Now here's one mechanic that just does not work in my mind. The lily pads. There's a couple of times that they show up.
Mm-hmm.
We use the gust jar to push ourselves along. This is the easy one. It's not a very long path, but there's a lot of momentum. It's not super easy to control and get around. There's a later one, which I absolutely hate. You can get up a decent head of steam, but you've got to turn so much. This could have been fun if it was more straight.
Right. If you know exactly what you're doing, you can actually really speed through these sections.
Yes, drown slugs! No, I need a key. Gotta push it in, right in the middle there. Luckily, if you fall in the water, you respawn on the lily pad. You don't have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, they're not that cruel.
This is one of a couple of situations where you've got a bunch of jars, and you need to remove all the jars around one that you can push along. Because the jars are so light that you can't grab them and pull them. If you did that, you would pick them up, and you can't drop in this game.
Yep, that's a puzzle ripped right out of the Oracle games.
Yeah. So I guess it's lucky I did it in this order.
That's one thing I hate. When you transition from one screen to the next, your lily pad loses all momentum.
Yeah. But this is the end of it. Right here. And this late in the dungeon, we get the compass. There's a couple dungeons that are like that. The map and the compass are placed in weird places.
Hey, this compass hasn't... Oh, it doesn't have the new feature.
This compass feels like a step back.
Right. That bug is like... Yeah, screw you, buddy.
You can charge up the gust jar 3 times. It doesn't matter. I don't know why it's a feature. Being absolutely sure.
Oh man, we're gonna collect so many things. It also pulls items to you, as you saw.
Yeah. There's a couple of items that do that. The UI on the pause screen feels a lot cleaner than the GBC games.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of backtracking. So there are actually 2 portals that open up throughout the dungeon. There's a blue one and then there's a red one. Most of the time they just take you directly to the entrance. For some reason in the first dungeon, the blue one, you have to go to the entrance and then go through it, and it takes you to a secret area, which is kind of cool. Now, I'm being a moron here because the game immediately taught me how to get through this room.
Yeah.
You can use the gust jar to pull the mushrooms.
Surprised Ezlo didn't pop out and admonish you for that.
Yeah, that's like one situation where it would have been useful to be told something.
Hey, you idiot!
These 2 staircases do not lead to the same room, so you want to open both of them. Well, they lead to the same room, but one of them's blocked off. Remember to get this to get a heart piece. The game always says piece of heart. Does anyone ever call them piece of heart? in real life.
Never. It's Heart Piece, so whatever. That's the canon name. The game's wrong. That's great.
That's great. Whatever. Whatever pleases you. Just go.
Yeah.
Oh god. Flings me over on the other side. Gotta go around again.
Fly out of the dungeon.
So I really like this. We fought a couple of those green shoes outside, but we're tiny now. And this one's gonna come along and just fuck us up.
Yeah, some of the bosses in this game are really cool. The way they are bosses.
That shoe's very drippy.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So to fight this guy, we gotta use the gust jar to make his legs tiny. You can push him away a little bit, but he closes in on you pretty fast. Get him small enough, he loses balance. You want to keep away from him because he's going to try to slam his head on you. Once he's on the ground, just wail on him.
Good boss.
So from this point, he becomes pretty tough. Because he starts jumping a lot, so you can't suck him up very much.
Right. At least he's not electrified.
I have to wonder if those are timed or if it's a damage timer. I don't know. So here's the thing. You have a very small window to use the gust jar on him.
Right, and you're probably not noticing this, but if you stop sucking on it for a while, it actually, his legs are growing bigger.
I like the purple around his eyes, makes him look really depressed. There we go. The earth element.
You got the essence of the earth element.
I like that we get the purple first.
Mm-hmm.
Justice for purple in Triforce Heroes. Hey Zelda, look at this jewel.
So much better than a tiny shield. So this is one of those games where you can choose not to pick up the heart containers. So it's one of those that you can do a 3-heart run if you wanted to.
I would not.
I mean, if you want to, really, but, you know, whatever. So yeah, good dungeon, good game, good boss.
We're off to a good start. I wish the game maintained that momentum beyond the first 2 dungeons, but hey.
Yeah, it does get a little sloggy a little bit later, but, you know, it's still, I don't know, it's still a good game.
At least by that point, I'm well invested enough.
Yeah, you kind of want to see the end. We fought the Chew, but the Chew didn't win.
And next time, we'll be spending pretty much an entire part just in Hyrule Town, because once we're able to get back, there's so much stuff we can do.
Oh yeah, the town is great in this game. It's got a lot.